Welcome. I'm Ann.
I'm Brian.
That's Brian. Welcome, guys. We are going to do some yoga today with an emphasis on prepping our bodies for what's going to become a semi-regular practice of dance and baithak. These are Hindu wrestler exercises, and it's only two exercises. They're both kriyas. They're movements. They're timed with the breath, and they build strength for pretty much every single muscle of the body. Traditionally, Hindu wrestlers would do these two exercises hundreds of times. The goal is today to do each one of the two exercises 5 times. We're going to prep our bodies for the exercises beforehand because it's very easy to pull muscles and that type of thing doing these exercises. So I want to make sure everybody's completely ready for them when we get to them. That's what we're working up to. And we're going to continue with this practice in the coming weeks. So feel free to observe deeply and practice on your own, as we will be coming back to this stuff the following Fridays or so. So anyway, as usual today, let's start standing up and bouncing up and down, because bouncing up and down, you can never get enough of it. It's so good for you, no matter where you're starting your practice from today. This is a great way of shaking off the day's anxieties, the day's feelings, the day's annoyances, the day's pleasures, the day's traumas, everything. It all gets shook off. If you're feeling really up in your head and anxious, you can have your feet nice and wide and just kind of like knock it all into the ground. If you're feeling very grounded and sloopy and just can't get off the ground, you can hop in place a little bit. That's fine too. You can even see how high you can jump, Maasai style. That's fine as well. And just feel the weight of your body kind of against itself here, the weight of your bones against themselves here as you bounce and shake. And eventually we will all come to a more kind of rooted bouncing where feet are somewhat wide and we're just shaking it all down, and you can start this. So bouncing is great for you. Twisting's possibly even better. I don't know. They're both good for you. So just letting the hands slap against the back. Do you want to sit in place?
Yeah, thank you. Sure. So we're going to slowly stop this bouncing and just go right to twist. Take a second.
It's working.
Get the bouncing to stop. That's okay. And then we'll just twist side to side. You can let the palms or the hands kind of smack the back of the body gently. We're going to add some momentum into this. So maybe, whoa, look at no whack your neighbor. Goes a little faster. Maybe the arms start to move up the body. When they get to about chest height, we're going to pull the elbows back, take the palms out flat like we're skimming water at chest height. And we're going to add a breathing exercise into this. So as we twist to the right, we're going to take a deep inhale. And as we twist to the left, we're going to exhale with a shh. So it's going to be like this.
More yoga victims. Hooray.
Awesome work, everybody. Continuing this breathing. Turn the forearms up. Goalpost arms. Face the palms at the palms of the head at the hands. Maybe you feel this in a whole different section of your back. Continuing that breathing. Let's take the arms out and down. Waist tight. Like we're manually turning a hula hoop or something at waist tight.
Hello, welcome.
Hello, everybody. Sorry we're late.
No worries.
Dan, come over here.
Perfect time.
There, I can reach you over there.
And then we're just going to slowly start to come back to center. You can just let the arms sort of flop side to side.
And then let's shake it off again, just because, again, shaking is so wonderful and so good for building bone density. Yes, you know what to do. You're a pro. You are a pro. So from this shaking, just get all your last loose shakes out. We'll keep the feet about mat width distance, and let's start warming up the hips, because we are going to really be using our hips today
and our psoas muscles in particular. So feel free to have hands on the waist if you like, and we'll just trace wide circles with our hips. First going in one direction, and then when you're ready, switching directions, going the other way. Maybe feeling the effects of the practice as you belch and or fart. And then from here, let's bring the feet about hips width distance. I'm just showing from the side. I'm taking my tail out and in, out and again from the side, out and in, out and in. Tail just goes out and in, out and in. If you want to time it with breathing, inhale out, exhale in. You can use the lower abdomen as what's moving the tail here. So taking the lower abdomen down, bringing it back up, taking the lower abdomen down, bringing it back up. So just allow yourself to get into this very kind of funky move for a second. And then from here, if you want, you can put your hands on your hips. You don't have to. We're going to just draw little circles with the hips. So it's a little different from those wide hip circles. The feet are about hips width distance here. And we're just kind of drawing these little circles just over the center of our axis here. So you might find you're bending one knee, then bending the other, like belly dancing style. And then when you're ready, we'll switch the direction, taking those little circles the other way. Breathing deep. Sloshing around the bowl of our pelvis. And then let's take the feet just a little bit wider, and we'll make those circles into figure eights. So bringing one hip forward and back, and then the other hip forward and back and forth. Continuing to get somewhat sexy in this practice. And then from here, if you want to bring the arms into the mix, feel free to backstroke your way across the cold, cold ocean. It's so wonderful though, when you get moving, everything warms up. So just backstroking, figure eighting. If you start getting dizzy, just keep your eyes kind of on your nose tip as you do this, or on the ground, and that will help you to stay grounded as we feel this flow in our spines. And then we'll just shake it all off, resetting. Maybe one reset movement is we can reach one arm down, the other arm down, back and forth. Just loosening through the shoulder girdle, massaging the inner organs of the abdominal cavity. And then we'll shake that off. And this time the hips go the other way. So in case you forgot, before we brought one hip forward and one hip forward, this time we're taking one hip back and the other hip back. So the movement for the hips might not make very much sense. It might feel a little bit awkward or unfamiliar. For me, I find that using my arms for this helps me get the motion of the hips. So this time I'm swimming forward. I'm working my way across the ocean on my front this time. The cold, frigid ocean. And it's so wonderful and I love it so much. So just coming forward and coming forward. Again, feeling the flow through your body. If you begin to feel dizzy, just keep your eyes on the ground or at your nose tip. Then again, we'll just shake it all off. That was great. All right, arms. Because we are going to be using our arms today. So let's warm them up. So thumbs fold into hands, fingers come around the thumbs. We'll take the arms down by our sides and just do little wrist rolls here. Really explore the space as best you can. They could be little wrist rolls or big wide wrist rolls. And as you inhale, take the arms out and up to the side. Exhale the arms down in front of you. And when they get to the bottom, we'll switch the direction, inhaling arms this time up in front of you. Join the sky above you if you're practicing outside. Arms out to the sides, wide and down. When they get down to the bottom, keep your hands like this. We'll take the arms out into a T. We'll rotate from the elbows. Windmills. The ones that one day in the Terry Gilliam world, I will just take off and float into the atmosphere while I'm doing this. Like a Monty Python movie. So when you're ready, we'll switch the direction, taking the windmills the other way. Your arms might be beginning to feel this. Feel free to tilt the windmills so that they're up at the sky. So switching directions this time. Right, I know. If you start to feel it, feel free to take a break if you need to. And then we'll switch directions, going the other way, tilting the arms up towards the sky. You could even open the heart towards the sky a little if you want. And then lastly, we'll take the arms down like we're stirring 2 big pots of seasonal soup or beverage. Maybe one is butternut squash and the other is apple cider. So under each arm, we're preparing for our fall shenanigans. And then when you're ready, we'll switch directions, stir the soup the other way just to make sure all the spices are blended in. And then from here, shake off those arms. You can do the paint mixer or the or the milkshake mixer where one arm comes down and you turn the palm back and forth, back and forth. So I'm rotating from the shoulder here. And then you can just do it loosely. So your arm starts to look like a broken noodle or something like that. You can do both at once.
Really let that arm go.
Yes, totally. The more you let it go, the more of the tension it will take away from all those shoulder and arm exercises we just did. We'll just do one more once your arms feel like they belong to you again. We'll take them out into a T, palms face down. Little circles I'll show from the side are spiraling out to bigger circles, crossing at the wrist. And then arms come back into a T, little circles the other way, spiraling out, bigger and bigger, crossing at the wrist. And then palms face up, little circles, spiraling to bigger. Oh wow, I just did all the arms. You want to do the next thing? What are you going to do? What do you want to do? And then the other way, little circles, spiraling out to bigger and bigger circles. All right, we've arrived at the land of strong arms. So our arms are warmed up. Our hips are somewhat warmed up. What else do we need for down and baithak? A little bit of core stuff?
Yeah.
Do you want to teach the legs from the ground?
Yeah.
Okay, so we all just come right down.
Come on down, folks.
Come on down and make yourself have a strong core with us.
So
Why not?
we're gonna work on opening up the legs, and I'm gonna give you a couple of options here. So if you want to do this real gentle, and you can just hold your legs up like this. So you want to put the legs in like this L formation here, and the idea is that we're going to rotate our ankles. Now, if you want to make this more of a core exercise, you can just take your hands off and just let your legs kind of hang in space. If you want, you can even put your head in your hands, make a little hand basket and relax any tension in the head. You can also just let the head be on the ground. If you want to make this even more challenging, try zipping the knees together while you do this. And then switch the direction that you're drawing those circles with your ankles. And then let's go ahead and pull our knees into the chest. Let's hug everything in. You can even rock a little side to side if you like. And then we're going to come right back to that same position. This time, again, you can hold your legs if you want, or you can just have them out in not hold, just have your legs holding up by themselves. This time we are going to draw the knees together. We're going to take our feet like we're trying to draw a circle on the wall, on a wall. There's no walls out here, but
He's drawing a circle on a flat, large tree far across and do.
and then switch the direction that you're drawing those circles. If you're hugging the knees together, you're definitely feeling this in your core at this point. Now let's bring the feet to the earth. Let the knees stay up in the sky, up in the air, pointing up, feet on the earth. And if you want, you can take your hands out. But either way, we're just going to let the knees rock side to side, windshield wiper the knees, releasing any tension in the back, the low back. Oh, man. What's you got next?
I was going to rotate from the
thighs?
hips. Yes.
both of them together.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay.
All right, so we come back to our backs. And again, your choice as to small, medium, and large in terms of how intense you want to make this. Small is just leave your back on the ground, leave your head on the ground, draw the knees up towards your chest. Medium is to, well, medium and large, I would say, is to hold the head up again. From here, we're all going to just draw wide circles on the sky with our knees. So our legs open out wide and then come back together. We're rotating from the hip joints here, from where the thigh meets the hip. So just getting a little bit more rotation in for the legs before we start doing official strength building. So when you're ready, we'll switch the direction, drawing the circles the other way, legs mirroring each other here. A very, very flattering posture if I've ever seen one. And then when you're ready, we'll draw the knees in towards the chest. Put the hands on top of the knees, bringing the knees together. Let's just draw little circles with the knees. So getting a sweet little massage on the low back, on the quadratus lumborum at the bottom of the spine here, or at least towards the lumbar spine. And when you're ready, we'll switch direction, drawing those little circles with our knees the other way. And we're actually going to make our way back up to standing, but for now, next time that you come right onto your back, just roll off to one side, press into hands and knees, and we will come into a tabletop position here. Feel free to pad under your knees if you need to, particularly if you're practicing on a stone surface. That can either be putting a folded up blanket under your knees, as I'm about to do, or you can take the edges of your mat and fold them in on the sides if you feel like your knees need padding. If your knees don't need padding, by all means, don't worry about it. From here, with hands right under shoulders and knees right under hips, I'm gonna inhale, tail rises, head rises, belly comes down towards the mat. Exhale, draw the navel up towards the spine as we round through the belly into a cat, Halloween cat. Inhaling down into sway back cow. Exhaling back into Halloween cat. And continuing at your own pace.
So now we're going to get a little bit of a circular motion into the spine. So you can imagine that your body is like on the inside of a barrel, and you're trying to rub your whole torso around every side of the barrel.
Oh, is that one you got from Laura?
That is one I got from Laura.
Yes! The teacher that we stole that from is right here. How nice is that? Yeah.
And then next time you're coming around, feel free to just switch the direction that you're making that circle with the spine. You just sort of let the head move and sync with the neck, with the spine. Just let it relax too. And then we'll just come back to center.
From here, let's do a little thread the needle just because I know where we're going to go later. So let's put the right hand just under the face here. We'll inhale the left arm up. I pulled a muscle recently, so ouch. And then when you're ready, we'll exhale that left arm in between the right arm and the legs. And then from here,
No hurt.
Inhaling the right arm up to the sky just to see what that feels like. And you can either interlace the right and left fingers and put the hands together, interlace the right and left fingers, put the hands together, stretching the arms together, drawing the left shoulder back as well as the right. Or if you want to go further, you can inhale that right arm up again, exhale it down to the tailbone. Just make sure your hips are even here. And then if you want, you can slide those right fingers around your back to catch the front of your left thigh. That is one option. And hence, we have our first balancing posture, if you like. If you want to turn this into a balancing posture, making sure that the hips are even again with that right hand, we'll take the right hand to the hips, to the tailbone. Just make sure they're even. You can keep it there or slide it back around. We're going to slide the right leg straight back. Toes are tucked. You can tuck the toes of the left foot if you like as well. It's not necessary. And then from here, we're going to lift
the right leg so that's just hip height, keeping the hips even here. So hips are both facing towards the ground,
Foot's pointing towards the ground.
foot's flexing towards the ground. And here we are balancing on points of our left shoulder, the left side of our head, our left knee. And when you're ready, we can lower that right knee, bring it next to the left. Inhale the right arm back up. Exhale the right hand down next to the face. Inhale the left arm up. Woo! And then, sorry, exhale the left hand down. That movement should not provoke the same kind of response in you as it does in me. So we'll do the other side. So inhaling the right arm up now, looking all the way to the right. We'll exhale the right hand in between the left and the legs. From here, you can inhale the left arm up, squaring the shoulders, and then exhale the left hand to the right, interlacing the fingers, draw the shoulders back. This might be where you need to get off on the subway stop. That is this yoga posture. If you want to go further, we will inhale the left arm up, exhale the left hand to the tailbone. Make sure your hips are even here. If you feel like letting those left fingers work their way all the way around to the front of the right thigh, you can do that. If you want to make this a balancing posture, you can keep that left hand there or bring the left hand back to the sacrum, making sure the hips are even. We'll tuck the left toes, possibly the right too, if that's your choice. We'll slide the left leg straight back and then lift the left leg up, only hip height, making sure the hips are even, balancing carefully on the right side of your body, possibly falling over to the right and lying on your back as I am doing, whatever feels comfortable. I know that you don't mean to do that, but sometimes these things happen. And then when you're ready, we'll bring that left knee down to meet the right, inhaling that left arm back up to the sky, exhaling the left hand down next to your face, inhaling the right arm up, untwisting, exhaling the right hand down to meet the left. And then yogi's choice, depending on how your rotator cuffs feel today, you can either bring your elbows down to the mat and lower the crown of the head down, gently to rest on the mat for rabbit, stretching the back of the neck. Or you can slide the hands forward a little bit and lower down the chest for heart posture, anahatasana. If you're in heart posture, experiment with the placement of the head. Maybe your forehead touches the ground, maybe your chin touches the ground, whatever is most comfortable here. Breathing deep. And when you're ready, we'll just slide the arms back, sliding our hips towards our heels for a little brief child's pose. Resting for just a second. And then when you're ready, we'll roll back up to seated. Place our hands flat on the mat, tuck our toes, lift through the hips, and gently walk the hands back towards the feet for a forward fold, just briefly. And then we'll roll our way all the way up to standing. Shake it off if you get a little dizzy when you stand up like I do. And what do you think? Are we ready for a down and baithak? I think maybe some spinal flexion and extension will be helpful. So chopping wood. So there is an option if you prefer to do a vinyasa of some sort, the sun salutation, the traditional Western practice, feel free to do it. We are going to do the quick and easy route to the same thing. So taking the feet about, well, I'd say mat's width distance, we're gonna chop wood and we'll get the same kind of flexion and extension of the spine that we will get at a sun salutation. Maybe we'll do one as well just to further warm up the spine, but this is a nice start. So interlacing the fingers of both hands, we'll fold forward. You can have bent knees for this if you like, and I'm gonna show it from the side because my hips are gonna do a funny thing here. I'm gonna inhale my arms up and my hips are actually gonna sit forward a little bit. So I'm actually sitting in my hips here briefly. Then I'm gonna exhale and fold forward. So you can take this at a much quicker pace if you like, or a slower pace, but basically it looks like this. And you can imagine that your interlaced fingers are like, maybe even like a wrecking ball or something, that they have a weight to them.
It draws you up and down with a nice combination of momentum, but also muscular strength. Next time you come forward, feel free to stay forward. You can toe heel your feet just a little wider apart and turn the feet out at like a 45-degree angle so that we come into a squat here. Hands can rest on top of the knees, fingers pointing in. The spine is long here. I'm going to inhale, and then I'm going to exhale and twist to one side. Inhaling back to center, exhaling, twisting to the other side. Taking up space here as you do this. Inhaling up, exhale, twist. Inhale up, exhale, twist. Going back and forth. Oh, it's like you see flipping off.
I was like, oh, it's the
It's
spy
not
plate.
even hanging out. Like, it's just when we do yoga. They love it. They're so envious. They're so interested in our yoga class now. It's a burst of days. That's why we have a spy plane coming over. So when you're ready, we'll stay in the middle here. Feel free to slide the hands further up so that the heels of the hands are right at the hip crease here. And you might find that once your heels of your hands are at the hip crease, if you push down on your hands, your shoulders will come up by your ears, but you'll also lengthen the spine, and that's the whole goal here. So we're going to fold forward, loosen everything up, and then as you inhale, inhale the spine long, pushing down with the hands, lengthening the spine, feeling as if your inhale is filling up the spine. Exhale, folding forward. So we'll just do a few of those. Inhaling the spine long. 2 more. Last one. And then you can just stay folded forward. You can toe heel the feet closer to each other to come into a traditional forward fold here. Feel free to grab opposite elbows and sway side to side just a little bit. And then when you're ready, we'll roll all the way up standing and do our world famous Hindu wrestler exercises. Now that we've warmed everything up, feel free to shake it off again if need be. That was a lot of stuff. You could even swipe down one arm, swipe down the other, swipe down the legs, swipe down the belly, swipe off the head, cut off all the cords you don't need. They'll come back. They'll all be back. And so here we have Dand and baithak. Let's start with baithak, which is for basically the lower half of the body. This is a means of strengthening the thighs, the glutes, the hamstrings, and the balance, actually. So baithak, there are 2 ways of doing it. You can either go really deep or you can go half deep. You'll feel it either way. So half deep, my feet are wide enough. They're a little wider than hips width distance, but when I come down, my knees are really tracking over my feet. That's the important part here, that I see my knees going over my toes here. So what this looks like, and we're only going to do 5, so let me show you the easy, I'll show you the hard, and then we'll do them together. You inhale and exhale. This is an easy one. Inhale and exhale. So my heels are staying down the whole time as I'm doing this, and my knees are tracking right over my feet. If I need a point to gaze at as I do this, I'm looking at the point on the ground. The yoga's working. Now, the hard one is a little bit different, and it's your discretion which one you choose. I'm going to bring my feet a little closer together for this, so they're about hips width distance, and it looks like this. My heels are going to come up. Inhale, exhale. So as you see, I shake a little bit because it is a balancing posture, so I do want to have a point of focus. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. So whichever one you feel like doing, choose wisely. Doing too many of these, you hazard not being able to stand up later. So we're doing 5 today, just 5. So when you're ready, high or low, your choice. And we can begin. And the body acts as a pump here. That's 5. Shake it off. Shake off a leg. Shake off another
Do
leg.
more if you feel like you want
Yeah,
more.
you can take more if you want, but I'm warning you. They sneak up on you, these squats. It's because they're fun to do and you get in the mood and all of a sudden you sit down for a bit thinking, wow, that was real, and then you stand up again and fall down. Or at least I do. So the second one, and you're probably feeling some heat and some warmth now. So the second practice, dand. Take this at your discretion. And again, this is something that if it doesn't seem like the right idea to practice this today, by all means, don't practice it. You could do a sun salutation. You could do a child's pose. You could do the dolphin push-ups, whatever you like. So dand looks like this. It's an inhale and exhale dynamic motion again, but it's between down dog and up dog. So it's probably pretty familiar to a lot of you. So I'm going to inhale into up dog, keeping my shoulders down. My toes are tucked here. My knees are up. My hips are up. I'm going to exhale, leading with the core back into down dog. Again, keeping my shoulders down here. It's very important to keep the shoulders down as you do this. Keep the neck nice and long. So Brian's showing really nicely from the side. Again, inhaling forward, beautiful. And then exhaling back, very nice. Again, a pump for the body. So we'll do 5 of them. Do this at your discretion. When you're ready, inhaling, exhaling. 4 more. Two more. And after 5, feel free to stay in downward facing dog if you like, pumping the heels down one by one. And then when you're ready, feel free to bring the knees to the mat, and we'll just fold right back into child's pose, resting a little bit. After that mildly heating practice, if you find that you are the type of person that likes to jump into cold bodies of water in the wintertime, these are great preparatory exercises for that kind of activity. They build heat in the body tremendously quickly. They build muscle tremendously quickly, but they are, like all very strong things, to be handled with caution. Don't take it too far. At least not this week, maybe next week. So when you're ready, we'll come back up to seated, roll the hips off one side, and maybe Brian will lead us through a world famous smorgasbord of hip and hamstring openers.
Sure. So let's all come into staff posture, Dandasana. So legs directly out in front of us. You can press out through the heels, engage our core. So we're sitting up nice and tall here. We're gonna do a forward fold, and we're gonna do it just folding from the middle of the body. So the upper body stays plugged in, stays straight. Let's if you want to use a strap here, if you have a strap at home or here, feel free to use it.
Or even a rolled up sweater.
We're gonna
Or a belt.
inhale our arms up overhead. If you got a strap, there's straps in your hands. Relax shoulders down the back. So no hiked up shoulders. Let's open out those hearts. And then fold forward from the midline of the body, only coming as far forward as you can while still keeping your back straight. And then you can take the hands down. If you have a strap, you can take it around the balls of the feet. If you don't have a strap, maybe you grab your feet, maybe you grab your ankles or legs, or have your hands on the mat. Doesn't really matter. The idea is we want to fold forward with a straight back as much as we can. Just breathe into this stretch. If you have to keep a little bend in the knees, that's good, especially if you have a tendency to lock your knees or hyperextend your joints. Also, if you're having a difficult time in this posture, keeping a little bend in the knees might help make it a little more accessible to you. Deep breaths here, and then we're going to inhale to come up. And let's bend the left leg and bring the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. So we're setting up a Jani Shirshasana. we'll turn we're going to sit up nice and tall, and then turn the body just slightly so it's facing in front of the right leg. Again, if you want to use a strap here, feel free to do so. We're going to inhale the arms up overhead, relax shoulders down the back, exhale and fold towards that outstretched leg, and then you can take the hands down. If you have a strap, maybe you find the ball of the right foot. Otherwise, just let your hands fall where they will. Again, fine to keep a tiny little bend in the knee if you need to.
Breathing deep.
And then we'll come up on an inhale. And let's, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to turn more this way so you guys can see me a little better. We're going to open out this left leg a little bit more open to the left. And we're going to turn the upper body to the left as well. So we're going to do this fold again, but this time as a side stretch. So you're turning the body to the left. You're going to take your right hand either underneath of or alongside of the right leg. Inhale our left arm up alongside the head. And with our body spinning open to the left, we're going to fold and reach towards that right foot. Try to keep that spin happening so we're not going to compromise the rotation, the twisting rotation, so that we can get closer to the foot. If we have to come out a little bit, that's fine. The idea here is we want that long stretch down the side of the body, the left side of the body as well. Breathing deep. And then we'll come up on an inhale. Let's plant that left hand down behind us. We're going to come up onto the left knee and the right foot, and we'll sweep that right arm up alongside of us. Bring the hips forward. It's just nice long stretch now down the whole right side of the body. And then we'll sit back down. And let's come into, the hell, I'm having a brain fart. I'm having a yoga brain fart. Oh, that. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm all twisted up. We're gonna step that left leg to the outside of the right leg. Thank you.
Oh, that. Half Lord of the Fishes. Oh, those people.
So this is what we're gonna come into. So we're crossing the left leg over the right leg. You can keep that right leg straight, or if you like to put that right foot next to the left hip, you can do that too, as long as you feel like you've still got both sit bones equally contacting the earth. If it feels like your left hip's popping up, try keeping that right leg straight. We're going to take a twist to the left this time. So I've been doing that the whole.
No, it's good. You don't need to worry about it.
So we're going to turn. You can take your arms forward and up and over and twisting to the left, and then we'll plant that left hand down behind us.
Oh, and if it feels more comfortable for you, you can also make this an open twist, twisting to the right. It's kind of the same thing. I mean, it's a little different, I guess, but.
And then if you want a little more in the twist, you could take, if you're twisting to the left, you could take the right arm maybe to the outside of the left leg.
And if you're twisting to the right, you can take the left arm to the outside, to the inside of the left leg.
And in your twist, feel free to turn your head all the way to the left. Feel free to turn your eyes to look as far as they can all the way to the left. So the eyes get the biggest twist. Breathing deep here. And on your next exhale, we're going to untwist. We're going to take our hands over to the right side, take a little bow to the right, little counter twist.
Well, if you do the open twist, you just twist to the left. Ooh.
And now we'll come up and come into bound angle.
Oh, you want me to teach a bound angle?
No, I'll teach you.
I love bound angle. I'm always happy to teach this. So
All
we
right,
draw the soles of the
it.
feet together. I think yesterday I heard you call it cobbler's pose, which I love, because we'll just take a look at the soles of our feet for a second, whether you're wearing socks or not. They probably just look wonderful. So we're opening up the soles of the feet as if we're opening up a book. And feet can be close to the body here, or they can be far away from the body. That's fine too, whatever is most comfortable for you. Lengthen through the spine, maybe walking the tail back a little bit, cheek by cheek. And then from here, just gently walk the hands forward. Coming forward into a nice forward fold. Your choice how deep you want to make this. We're going to have another opportunity for this a little later. So if this is the one where you're warming up for something epic, sometimes I feel like that's all of life, warming up for something epic.
Oh yeah.
Well, something epic is happening all the time. Possibly this posture. Breathing deep, feeling the spine lengthen as you inhale and then folding forward a little deeper as you exhale. And then when you're ready, we'll walk the hands back slowly. You can take the hands and cup them under the outside of the knees, drawing the knees up together, soles of the feet flat on the ground, knees bent towards the sky. Let's take the hands behind us real quick for a fast mud flap curl. From here, let's let the knees rock side to side. Very nice. Just loosening up through the hips, and then we'll do the other side. Your turn.
Other side. So let's come back into staff posture for a second, just to set for the next side. Just setting up real quick, just so we can get all set up in this staff posture. And then this time we'll bend our right leg and put our right foot to the inside of our left thigh. We can turn the body slightly so we're facing towards the left leg. If you want to use a strap here again, go for it. We're going to inhale, arms up overhead. Relax shoulders down the back. Lead with the heart. Exhale, fold towards that left leg. Let the hands come down. If you got a strap, take it around the ball of the left foot. Feel free to keep a micro bend in that knee if you need to. And just breathe deeply through this. And then we'll inhale to come out of this. We're going to open the right leg a little bit, open more to the right, turn the body to the right, take the left hand alongside of or underneath of that left leg. We're going to inhale that right arm up alongside of the body, and keeping this twist, twisting out to the right, we're going to fold towards that left leg again. Keep twisting, keep spinning open. Maybe you can even spin open to the sky.
Ooh, I love that we have live accompaniment from a flute. Hey, it's really nice. The nuances of practicing out there.
And when you're ready to come out of this, we'll inhale up. We'll plant that right hand behind us. We'll come up onto the right knee, left foot, swing that left arm up alongside of the head. Nice long stretch down the left side of the body. Inhaling long, reaching. Exhale, we'll come back down and step the right foot over the left leg, this time setting up for a seated twist again. Again, your options, straight left leg or left foot next to the right hip. And then we're going to twist to the right this time. So I like to grab just under my right knee with my left leg. I like to reach forward with that right arm and then start to twist, reaching up, over, and around. Plant that right hand behind you. And then you can turn the head as far as you can to the right. Turn the eyes as far as they can to the right without hurting anything. And if you want extra twist, you can put that left arm outside of the right leg.
If you prefer an open twist, we'll just twist everything to the left, and you can put that right elbow on the outside of on the inside of the right knee. That's an option as well.
Breathing deep here. And we're gonna unwind on an exhale. We'll take the hands over to the left, take a little bow to the left.
Or to the right if you did an open twist.
And then we'll come back, and this time we're gonna do turtle.
You want to do turtle?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
So very similar to what we just did before with bound angle. We're gonna bring the feet together, but this time maybe take them out a little further so that you may have more of a diamond shape with the legs here. And the idea is that we're gonna bring our hands to the mat and maybe bring the knees. You can bring the knees
Let's
up.
first draw the knees up and then slide the hands palm face down along the mat so that the calves are resting on the forearms. And that in itself might be as far as you need to go today. If you want to go further, you let the knees relax down towards the ground, the elbows come down, and possibly the forehead rests in the arches of the feet, making you so happy that you wore those clean socks or washed your feet today, perhaps.
And if you're really advanced with this posture, you can actually take your hands down behind you.
Ooh,
Like this.
And then grasp.
And maybe you can even
hands
grab your
behind
hands.
you.
I can't reach, but I
Yes.
can just kind of grab each butt cheek.
So the main thing here, though, no matter where your arms are, is just the lengthening out of the spine. Even if you're barely folded forward at all, which is totally fine, just make sure to keep that spine nice and long. And one way that we can actually do that is if you walk one hip back and then the other hip back just a little bit, and that will lengthen out the spine. So resting here in turtle, a deceptively difficult pose. Breathing deep. You guys look awesome. I'm very impressed. We got some great turtles here. Maybe I'll try to. Woo! Ooh, that's hard. Woo! All right. And when you're ready to come out of this, and there really is no hurry because we're way ahead of schedule, feel free to lift the knees, draw the arms back. Again, drawing the knees together, soles of the feet flat on the ground, hands behind you, palms facing down, fingers face towards you. Again, the proud and beautiful mud flap girl on the back of the truck mud flaps, waving her knees from side to side in glory. Back and forth. Relishing our open hips. And then you can take the legs out in front of you and just shake them off a little bit. Turn the feet side to side, rotating from the hip joints, the hip sockets. Oh, that's so nice. And let's just bring it all the way down. We'll do a few more hip opening stretches laying on our back, but feel free to grab anything that you need to be comfortable for Shavasana because that's coming. We're almost there. I remember when I first started practicing yoga, I'd watch the clock. Like, okay, when's she gonna get to the easy stuff? So when you're ready, coming all the way down to your back, you can bend both knees, bringing the soles of the feet to the flat on the mat. And from here, let's draw the right knee in towards the chest. You can either keep the left leg bent like this, or you can straighten out the left leg, just making sure to keep the left hip down. From here, let's draw that right knee in towards the center of the chest for a wind-relieving posture. So beautifully named. And then when you're ready, we'll take that right knee towards the right shoulder. So we're opening out through the right hip just a little bit here. You can flex both feet or point both feet, whatever feels good for you today. And then we're going to take the right knee in the left hand. We'll take the right arm straight out from the right shoulder and just draw that left knee or that right knee all the way across your body to the left, getting a gentle spinal twist here. Your right knee might be floating in the air. That's totally fine. As long as you can keep your right shoulder and your left shoulder tracking down towards the mat. Feel free to look over your right hand. So just a loose spinal twist here for a second. And then when you're ready, we'll bring that right knee back up
Then both knees again, bringing the soles of the feet to the ground. This time we'll draw the left knee up towards the center of the chest. You can either keep your right leg bent here or you can straighten out the right leg, just taking care to keep that right hip tracking down. We'll bring that left knee right to the center of the chest for a wind relieving stretch. And then when you're ready, we'll open that left knee towards the left shoulder. So opening out towards the left. Feet can be flexed, feet can be pointed, whatever you like. And then when you're ready, we'll take the left knee in the right hand. We'll take the left arm straight out from the left shoulder and we'll cross the left leg across the body towards the right. Left knee might be floating in the air. That's totally fine. Just make sure that your left shoulder and your right shoulder are tracking towards the mat. You might even need to lift up a little on your right shoulder and then put it back down to keep both shoulders down. And we'll look out over our left shoulder. Then when you're ready, open back out again. You can take that left leg down to meet the right if your right leg is extended. If not, feel free to extend both legs. We're going to lay here for a second on the ground in what looks like Shavasana with hands palm face up, feet kind of splayed out to the side. And then we're just going to turn our toes in and out kind of quickly, just back and forth. And then rotating from the hip joints. Then we're going to turn our palms face up, face down as we do this with our legs. So legs and arms are all flapping around, going crazy, and then gently look side to side. So we're rotating from the shoulders, the hips, and the neck here. Back and forth, just loosely. This is our prone skeletal shaking, a prone bouncing. And then if you have anything else you wish to do today, maybe you want to grab a happy baby or an inversion or a traditional spinal twist, whatever you want to do, now is the time. I can talk us through happy baby if you like, which is knees bend, soles of the feet stand on the sky, and I either grab the outside of my feet or the inside of my feet or around the big toe, drawing those knees down towards the ground and kind of also towards my armpit. Opening out one last time through the hips if you're choosing to do a happy baby. And then whenever you're ready, soles of the feet can come back down to the ground. Legs stretch long. Into Shavasana, our relaxation posture. Feel free to cover up with a blanket if you need to, or socks, sweaters, anything you need to make this comfortable. But one thing I do recommend, if you're wearing glasses, feel free to take them off. Place them somewhere safely to the side where you know you're not going to roll over on them. And just let the eyes soften. Let the breath soften. Let the heart soften. Shoulders, hips, sides of the mouth soften. Edges of the brain soften. Soften it all.
So you can let your awareness start to come back to your body. Feel free to deepen your breath. You can start to wake up the body by moving your toes and fingers if you'd like. You can start moving the wrists and ankles. So we're gonna stretch really long on the mat. So bring the feet together, press out through the heels, interlace the fingers, press the palms away from the crown of the head towards the wall behind you, and inhale as you stretch really long throughout the whole body. On an exhale, feel free to bring the knees into the chest and hug everything in. You can do any rocking here that you want to do or not. Eventually, we're going to make our way up to seated, so feel free to come up in any way you like to. Feel free to take your time getting there. And when we get to seated, you can feel free to press your hands together at heart center in Anjali Mudra. Yeah, let's actually do some of those, yes, before we get into oming. That's a great idea. We'll do a couple of rounds of prana mudra first. So actually, we'll take our hands out wide. We're going to inhale and reach up, maybe even leaning forward. Exhale, press the palms down, maybe even curl the spine back. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, pushing down. Do a couple more of those. They feel so awesome. And then the next time you reach up, let's let the palms touch overhead, and you can exhale palms to heart center. If you feel like joining us in an om, feel free. We'll take a deep inhale. Thank you for joining us today. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.
Thank you. Great job, everyone. If you have questions, we are here.
Oh, that's so good.
And we'll be back next week. Consider it, I hope. I hope. If it's not too cold. Goodbye. Thank you.
Was anybody